and learned quickly that she expects and needs princess treatment to be content. I was more than willing to do so, and for 15 years it was a fair trade. Yes, I gladly do more than most men to have her as my wife and the mother of our kids. It has been a great investment for 15 years. Okay, so this is where I had to like ground myself and not fucking spaz text him back. Like, I erased a couple of texts actually, and I like to. So he's not interested in what I have to say, basically. He says that this has been a great investment for 15 years. It was a fair trade that he did more than his fair share of domestic duties and made all of the money. He overweighed physical looks and learned quickly she needs to be treated like a princess to be content. Let's see. And he doesn't want to waste my time. He's capitulated for 15 years, but he's not a nice guy, Cynthia.
I saw every gentleman whose screen was open like laugh uproariously when he said that.
Yeah. So if you'd honor our chat, the chat's like scrolling up. Yeah, if you'd honor our chat, please, then I'd love to bounce over to Scott again. Yeah, please go for it, Cynthia. Thank you.
So Joseph said, so why come to you for help? Scott said he's confused. John said this guy's a hot mess and has no high regard or self-respect.
Yeah, the self-respect thing is a big. This is why I brought this up today, because this is know your worth and hold your frame. That's our theme. So this man's worth is, he's put her on a pedestal for a long time, right, guys? Since day one. Yeah, please.
Kent said, so what does he want? And Scott said, yeah, he doesn't know.
That's a good question, Kent. Yeah.
Dan said, how is that a great investment? He sold himself short. Zach said, putting her up on a pedestal. No shit, that isn't working great. Kind of funny that he found you and then didn't want any help. Guess he has all his shit figured out.
Yeah, that's what I thought by the end of it. I think he just wanted a magic pill or something that I could wave a magic wand. I'm not sure what he wanted. Yeah.
Kent said, anyone else putting themselves on the old version of themselves while reading this? Oh, is anyone else putting themselves in the old version of themselves while reading this? I'm not going back to that BS. And Jason said, covert contracts, nice guy, no leadership. Princess comment is low regard, oh boy.
His worth is tied to his marriage.
Worst type of nice guy. The guy's in denial.
Yeah.
And Rob said, if I only do what she wants, she'll love me.
Oh, hey, Rob, welcome on, man. Yeah, hey.
I just want to touch on what you were talking about, staying in your frame. I mean, look at it this way also. She falls down and you fall down with her. How are you going to pick her back up unless you pick yourself back up first? When she's down, she's looking for someone to pick her back up. And if you can stay in your frame and not fall down with her, you're going to be there to help her back up.
Yeah, I love that. That's awesome, Rob. So good, so good. Yeah, so Cynthia, I want to bounce it off you. So what are you now feeling with all this information? So she's wanted to be a princess since they met. Otherwise, she wasn't content. He's capitulated. He's done most of the housework and made all of the money, such and such. He's in denial of what he's read for the past 4 months. He's been in men's work for 4 months, and he's in denial about this. So what are you reading between the lines here? What else might be going along? I did not show Cynthia any of these texts before the show. We did talk about the general situation. So what you said toward the end of when we were curating the show, I'd love for you to share with us. So what do you read between the lines here that can help us as men understand how to not fall into these same traps and to understand maybe what she's going through so we can do things to repair or move forward in the relationship? Yeah,
sure. Well, when you read his last line of, it's been a great investment for 15 years. Like it was like, ugh, in my stomach. Because that says so much, right? To be on the other side of a relationship where you feel like you have to invest in it, like even like financially, like almost seems like it's all financial. I'm going to invest financially so this person can be in my life. that's just very painful. Like I try to think of where he must be at as a man and holding his own worth. And what I was feeling when we were talking earlier is that there must be something in him that feels like he's not worthy and ashamed of who he is. And with all this money, he can kind of like, he's used that as a way to like cope with that. But now that's manifesting, and he's getting back the message that he's been afraid of, that like, well, you're not worth this, or you're not valuable. And it's just very painful to hear, because I don't know her, and she could have the most like strong, empowered, and framed man in front of her, and she could be in that mode of, I'm princess and I get whatever I want, and she could be at that level. And I truly believe every woman down deep in her bottom drawer is wanting to be with a man who is certain of his worth, his input in the world, his connection to something bigger and greater. And this gentleman here, he is a man, and that means that he is connected to this powerful, incredible energy that is him. And he's allowed to give that in the world and be that in the world. And doesn't have to pay to have someone prove that to him.
I love that so much. And it's obviously not worked out to have that strategy either at this point.
Well, whatever was working before has kind of run its course.
That's an interesting point.
She also might be running that princess attitude to see if he'll put up with it.
Yeah, say more about that, John. Go for it.
Well, I mean, when one of the books I read, what women want when they test men, they're testing your worth or your backbone, and so she may be pushing that princess attitude around, just seeing if he will take it from her.
Yeah. So how would you? I mean, let's use some of your experience, John. So how might you handle that? If let's use your situation, right? If all of a sudden she tries to push princess, how might you handle that in a grounded way, in a calm, confident, attractive way?
Well, my biggest thing would just be call that attitude out, depending on what the particular is, just, hey, come back to the situation later. Like, hey, that attitude that you gave me earlier was, I definitely understand why you were upset, but I don't appreciate the way you came about that. And I would really appreciate, for our relationship's sake, if we didn't go into this, this kind of attitude again.
Yeah. And then I love how you just put a period at the end of it. That's phenomenal. I was actually speaking with a one-on-one client 2 days ago, and I made sure to influence that you're not trying to ask for her apology. You're not trying to get her to do something in that moment. You're not demanding anything. You're calling it out. I love that, John. That was great.
Well, even with the no sex thing too, that'd be something that, I would have to sit down and have a conversation with of, hey, in how I see a relationship is we are intimate and sexual, and we are at least working towards that. So if it's something that you're not interested in, then, maybe this relationship has run this course. If not, I would definitely like to explore maybe cuddling, once a week on the bed, or holding hands while we're out in public, started moving that goal forward rather than just saying, oh, well, I need this magical wand of her being okay for me to be okay so we can start having sex again.
Oh, yeah. It's so telling. So walk forward, lead, and don't think that some magical thing has to happen for you to start moving in the direction that you want in life. I love that. It's so good.
Yeah, because I mean, the only person that you need to stand up for is yourself. Like, she's going to go whatever way she's going, regardless of what you're doing. So if you start leading towards the way you want to live, she's going to follow or leave. And that's not your problem at that point. I don't know a nicer way to say that, but it's not your problem if she decides she doesn't want to join you.
Yeah, I agree. And John, I'll add that's why it's so important that we do this work as men, that we're in a tribe of men like this so we can get feedback and take the shit to the men, as Dr. Robert Glover would say, and know what we want. That was in the chat as well, Cynthia, is, well, what does he want? Or what do I want as a man? And if your answer is, I have no idea, and you need to get on that shit right now. Like, you're going to be contacting us. You're going to be posting in the forum. You're going to talk to one of the coaches or another man on here that you respect. You're going to reach out to another guy that sounds in a similar situation. We are here because I want every man a generation from now to be in a tribe like this, to want their brother and their friends and themselves to be in a tribe of men. That's why we are here. That's why Cynthia loves this work as well. She's honored and studied masculinity since college. And she and I found each other in our late 30s, and we've made a phenomenal relationship together. We both made mistakes in the past, and that's why we're happy to be here for you to share what it can look like John is talking about. Like Rob is in a great relationship as well. John's back with his wife. They were all on the brink of divorce, and John's back in an amazing, happy marriage with his wife. So these are men that can be here for leaders in the community for you guys as well. So happy that you're here.